This is why we do this test. This is why we do the test. We do the test so we can hear the volumes. Because if you can't hear the volumes, then you can't hear you can't do the recording. This is why we do this test. This is why. Okay, alright. I've been stupid enough. Enough stupidity for one time. Let's go. I'm a little bit excited. Sneak peek for those who watch the live. I quit smoking 2 days ago. So it's been technically 1 day of smoke free. This is day 2 of no smoking. So I've got energy, too much energy, one might say. That's my second coffee of the day, and it's 11 a.m. So God help us all. Anyway, yeah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. 3, 2. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another episode of Quran in English. My name is Ahmad, and I am happy to take you through the final section of Surah An-Naml, the chapter of the ants, where we're going through, I think, the last 9 verses of Surah An-Naml. I think it ends on 91. And then, as per Mr. Matar's suggestion, go into the star. Because I've been going into the star anyway, and he's just been pointing out that I haven't been doing it when it crosses chapters. So this time we're going to start chapter 28, Surah Al-Qasas, which means the chapter of the stories. Yes. Al-Qasas. Qasasi. Yeah. Okay, where do we leave off? We were talking about Judgment Day. It's Judgment Day. That's a funny story that I'll tell you one other day. Another day, another dollar. Before I get into it, I'll explain to you what I'm doing here. I am reading the Quran, thinking out loud, sharing my thoughts out loud. I'll read the Quran in Arabic, so I'm also practicing reading Arabic, so I'll make mistakes. So if you don't like mistakes, don't watch. But I will discuss it in English because I want to see what it says, and I want to say what I reflect and build upon what I know, because I'm trying to learn about the Quran and see what it says first. So I'm hoping that you might benefit from this too. But primarily, I'm trying to benefit, and I'm sharing my education with you. So, off we go. That's all I want to say. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا وقع القول عليهم أخرجنا لهم دابة من الأرض تكلمهم أن الناس كانوا بآياتنا لا يوقنون. Terrifying. And when it is, when the word is fulfilled upon them, when it's the hour, the final destination, the final buzzer of life, we will bring forth for them the beast from the earth. Dabba just means that which roams, that which walks the earth. But the beast does feel a creature. The beast, it feels. It comes from the earth, and it's speaking to them that people were, of our signs, not certain. People had no faith in our revelations. Now here you also see the footnote. It says, the beast is believed to be one of the major signs of the Day of Judgment. No further details have been given in reliable resources about the beast. I just get a terrifying feeling from this word. I don't know how to describe it to you. It's scary. وَيَوْمَ نَحْشُرُ مِنْ كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ فَوْجًا مِمَّنْ يُكَذِّبُ بِآيَاتِنَا فَهُمْ يُوزَعُونَ. The day we will gather from every nation a group from those who denied our signs, and they will يُوزَعُونَ. I think we use Yuz'un multiple times, or am I? No, faza is the word. Okay, sorry. Ignore it. They will be set in rows. So we will get a troop from every nation the troop used to deny our signs. We will gather from every faith community a group who denied our revelations, and they will be driven in ranks. They will be line them up front to back, sending home for like a heart attack. Yeah. Yes. So they will be lined up. And they lined up not because they're about to get a reward, but the time has come. You failed. Yeah. حتى إذا جاءوا قال أكذبتم بآياتي ولم تحيطوا بها علما أم ماذا كنتم تعملون. Until when they come, it will be said, do you deny my signs when you did not encompass with it any knowledge? When you didn't get anything about you didn't understand them, and then you denied them? So you didn't get it, and then you said this isn't true. When you didn't get it, what was you doing? What? How do you... Saying I don't understand something, perfectly fine. Saying it's not true, bro, this is a strange take for me to take as a person who's studying and reading the Quran, because a lot of the Muslim community are anti-astrology. But I'm like, I have the same issue with astrology. The more you look into astrology, the more you realize it's very complicated. It's super complicated, and we live inside a giant clock. We live inside the sun. How we rotate around the sun tells the year. How the moon shines based off of the reflection of the sun is the months. Like, the stars can give us the direction and navigation. So you think that me saying, oh, the way that the stars are shaped affects your personality at the time you're born, and you go, that's wrong. And I'm like, okay, but have you like researched into it? Saying I don't understand it, saying I don't get it, perfectly fine. But saying I don't believe in it when you haven't looked at it, you're like, okay, that's kind of dumb. So this is exactly what the Quran is saying. How do you deny my signs when you don't encompass of it any knowledge? Like, you don't get it, and you say that this is wrong. How do you have an opinion about something that you don't get? If you don't understand it, say you don't understand it. But don't say, oh, this is wrong. Did you look into it and you realize that this was wrong? Bro. Strange to use the astrology as an example, but that's kind of what is being said here. ووقع القول عليهم بما ظلموا فهم لا ينطقون. And the word fell upon them, was fulfilled upon them about what they were wronged, and they were not able to speak. They were speechless. The decree has come to pass. The thing that they have been told and they've been warned about has come, and they just went, yeah. They said nothing because they realized they was wrong. And yeah, at this point, yeah, it's game over. You have failed. This is when you have failed the test, and you don't want to get to the end of the test failing. You know that feeling you have when you've done something terribly wrong, and you're like, oh, I wish I knew at the time before. Like, well, this is the time before. Figure it out. Because if you get to that point, it's too late. It's game over. Wrap it up. We done. ألم يروا أن جعلنا الليل ليسكنوا فيها والنهار مبصرا إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون. Again, we're living in a giant clock. Did they not see that we have made the night so that they may rest in it, and the day so that they may see things in it? You're literally living, like, we take it for granted that there's night and day, because, you know, there's night and day, of course. But the fact that we have, like, on average 12 hours of like doing stuff and 12 hours of like resting built into the entire, like, it's hyper convenient that life can exist. Anyway, indeed, in that is a sign for people that believe. And I like the idea of the functionality of the universe, of the sun and our rotation around the sun giving us the years and the moon giving us the months, like that we're living in a clock. For me, that idea is more proof of God existing than for me to look at the stars. But for some people, the stars is also relevant. And as we saw with the princess of the Queen of Sheba, that for her the revelation moment was the floor of the palace that King Solomon had. And to each their own, right? Everyone has their own road to God and their own proof. But for me, I do understand that the fact that there's night for us to rest and day for us to see things, pretty cool. It kind of is perfect. You know what I'm saying? What is the footnote? To demonstrate his ability to bring people back to life, Allah usually refers to some wonders of his creation, such as planets, the alteration of day and night, the mountains, and the development of the human embryo. Okay. But this has nothing to do with bringing people back to life. God explicitly mentions that multiple times. This is just talking about the night so that they may rest and the day so that they may be visible. This has nothing to do with bringing people back to life. Anyway. وَيَوْمَ يُنْفَخُ فِي الصُّورِ ففزع من يوم ينفخ ويوم ينفخ في الصور ففزع من في السماوات ومن في الأرض إلا من شاء الله وكل أتوه داخرين. And on the day that it will be blown in the trumpet, which I don't know why, but I know exactly what that sound is like. I know that sound. I know that trumpet sound. I can't tell you why, but I just know what that trumpet sound is like. So faza is a very powerful, like, so jumped out of fear. Faza, that's what it means. Faza is to like completely terrified. Like, yeah, it's you. Whoever is in the heavens and in the earth will jump out of fear, except whom God wills. We've seen this before, but they'll also mention it again, whom God wills. But all will come to him humbled. And for some reason, this trumpet sound, it kind of sounds, like if you're watching like a basketball game, and they're like, yeah, and he shoots it, and you hear, dude, and all of a sudden, everybody that's been running around the field and pitching and excited, they hear that sound, and their body just drops. And all their action just drops, and they're like, oh, okay, it's over. All right, let's go do something else. And it's kind of like that concept of like, game over. The time for doing is over. Now sit and watch the score. Yeah. I wonder if they could make sports where we don't see the score. Like basketball. Anyway, I'm getting too confused. But the trumpet. Now, everyone will be horrified to the point of death. Wrong. And I'll explain to you why in a second. Here they say the trumpet will be blown on two different occasions, signaling the beginning of the judgment today. The first blow will cause all creation to die, except who Allah spares, and the second one will cause them to be raised from the dead. They're onto something, but I think they're mixing ideas. There's another part of the Quran that talks about the two trumpets blown, but they're mixing ideas. And I'm not going to comment on it until I get to those specific parts. But who does God will to not be afraid? We will see an example of that. In 2 verses? Yeah, they'll be secure from harm. Yes, not that in this verse, but the next verse. But anyway. وترى الجبال تحسبها جامدة وهي تمر مر السحاب صنع الله الذي أتقن كل شيء إنه خبير بما تفعلون. And you see the mountains, and you think of them as firmly fixed, while they will passing the clouds. Oh, so you think of the mountains as fixed, but they will pass like the passing of the clouds. So at the day of judgment, you think mountains are fixed, but they will move just like the clouds. Like, it's everything going to change. Everything's going to be like complete craziness. The work of God, the one who perfected everything. This is the work of God, the one who perfected everything. And this is kind of the example that we were given. The fact that we live in a clock is also a form of perfection. Indeed, he is all-knowing about what you do, which I find, why does it end with that? Why does it talk about the mountains, the clouds, the perfect design, and then he knows everything that you do? I struggle to make those connections. There's probably some lesson to be learned in this that I don't fully understand yet. But yeah, not understanding parts of the Quran is going to be part and parcel, because this thing is massive and amazing and perfect, and yeah, we're not going to understand it completely. But I need to contemplate on this a bit more. من جاء بالحسنة فله خير منها وهم من فزع يومئذ آمنون. Whoever comes with good, then for him it will be better than it, and they from the terror on that day will be safe. Which brings me to an important topic. First of all, this is giving us an example of who will not be afraid, who will be not have terror in their hearts. Those who do good. Those who do good and live good lives will not have terror. And notice how it didn't say those who believed. It said those who did good. I've always been thinking that there's been a separation between believers and non-believers, and that's what the Quran is kind of indicating as the most important difference. But I think the more important difference is those who do good and those who don't do good. It is somewhat tied into belief. If you truly believe in something greater than yourself, in like that we are part of a whole, that we are supposed to be good for goodness sake, it's not settled. I have to let it sit in my head. But if I talk about things, they settle in my head better. But the idea is because I've been struggling to articulate. I've been thinking believe versus non-believe, but then there are a lot of racists, fascists, Zionists who believe in something larger than themselves and believe in inflicting suffering on other people. So it's not just about believing in something larger than yourself. And then is it about believing the right thing? Is it about believing the wrong thing? But here it's saying about doing good. The ones who do good. And I do believe the Quran talks about that many, many times. Which then brings me to the question of what happens if you die as a non-believer, but you've lived a good life. The Quran also says that whoever does an atom of a good deed will feel it, and whoever does an atom of a bad deed will feel it. Yeah, it's saying those who will not be afraid are those who do good, not necessarily those who believe. But in another part of the Quran, it said those who die as a non-believer will have the curse of God, the angels. This is tough. Understanding this is not easy. But that's why we have a long life, inshallah. So those who do good will be free from the terror. And there's another verse in the Quran that says those who truly believe will not be afraid. Because once that sound comes, they go, oh, finally, the time has come. All my life I have been believing, and the time has come. And on the opposite hand, وَمَنْ جَاءَ بِالْسَيِّئَةِ فَكُبَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ فِي النَّارِ هَلْ تَجْزَوْنَ إِلَّا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. And whoever comes with evil or bad deeds, then their faces will be cast down into the fire, and they will be asked, are you given, are you recompensed, are you rewarded, except for what you used to do? The thing that you're facing is a direct result of your actions. You will be held responsible for your life, nobody else. You don't want to be asked this question. It's kind of like a person going to prison. Oh, if I only hadn't done it. Yeah, sure, you should have thought of this before you did the thing. And now that you know that the thing was bad and then you did the bad thing, bro, how can you say that you don't deserve this? إنما أمرت أن أعبد رب هذه البلدة الذي حرمها وله كل شيء وأمرت أن أكون من المسلمين. Now it's kind of interesting. It doesn't say, and it doesn't say, oh prophet. This also should be in between this little caret thingy, because this word is not say. It only says, only I have been commanded that I worship the Lord of this city, who he has made it sacred for it, and it belongs to him, and everything belongs to him, the Lord of the city, and everything belongs to him. And I've been commanded that I become one of those who submit fully. So this is the statement. We understand it to be said to the Prophet. We understand that the Prophet had to say this, and I'm sure the Prophet said this many, many times. However, it can apply to more than that. The key word is haramha, made it sacred. So Masjid al-Haram is usually known as the Grand Mosque in Saudi. So it has that haram, sacred. And we do understand it to be Mecca. However, it might apply to other situations. But I do understand this completely. And if you look at the next verse, we also talk about the Quran. So I think it makes the most sense for the Prophet Muhammad, to be honest. وأن أتلوا القرآن فمن اهتدى فإنما يهتدي لنفسه ومن ضل فقل إنما أنا من المنذرين. and that I recite this Quran. So again, it applies to the Prophet Muhammad, but we can recite the Quran and we can follow God and we can fully submit to God. Just saying. And that I recite this Quran. So whoever is guided, whoever accepts guidance, then he is guided for himself. And whoever is led astray, then say, only I am for you as a warner. This is the story as old as time. The messengers have a message to deliver, and whoever does not listen is not your problem. Not my circus, not my monkeys. It's a very powerful statement. One more verse for this chapter. وَقُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ سَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ فَتَعْرِفُونَهَا وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. And say, Alhamdulillah, praise be to God. He will show you his signs so that you will recognize him. وَمَا رَبُّكَ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. And your Lord is not unaware of what you used to do. Which I think he will show you his signs so that you may recognize him. I think this is true for everyone, but in different forms and in different ways. God will show himself to you in a variety of ways. A lot of people have a come to Damascus moment. A lot of people have this is what makes me believe in God. However, that moment, then you have to work and apply to build your faith and nurture your faith. The seed is planted by God. Now it's up to you. Do you throw the seed away after a while? You go like, oh, but like there's shiny things all around me. Let me go for that. Or do you spend the hard time trying to grow the seed that has been given to you? What does that sound? Okay. Sounds like there's like a vibration somewhere, which is crazy. But yeah, so everybody's given the seed. It's just a matter of whether or not you do the hard work to make it grow, or do you get distracted by all that around you, and you do not. It really sounds like a phone's vibrating, but I always have this. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, that's the end of Surah An-Naml, and we will begin with the first, how many verses does it show? Stream information. 11 verses of Surah Al-Qasas, which is the chapter of the stories. And if we're going to go into story time, what is the one story that we cover the most in this Quran versus anybody else? The story of Moses. Which kind of makes me think about it, because we did mention in the previous episode that the Quran is addressing the children of Israel. And it kind of feels like a lot of the convincing is doing is for them. Because like the Muslims already believe in the Quran, they follow all of it. Like everything is for the Muslims. But for the Jews, it feels like there seems to be taking more words and more focus. And yeah, anyway. Let's get into Al-Qasas. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sin Mim. Again, Sin, not Mim. It's the 3 or 4 or 5 letters at the start of a chapter. We don't fully understand what it means, but it signifies, usually he talks about the book right after it. تِلْكَ آيَاتُ الْكِتَابِ الْمُبِينِ. Those are the verses of the book that is clear. Some of it's clear, some of it is less clear, but it's clear that they're verses of the book. Whether their meaning is clear is a different concept. نتلو عليك من نبأ موسى وفرعون بالحق لقوم يؤمنون. We recite upon you from the news of Moses and Pharaoh in truth for a people who believe. Who are the people who believe? Could be the Jews, could be any of us, to be honest. But it feels like the Quran does take a lot of time to talk to the children of Israel, quite a lot. إن فرعون علا في الأرض وجعل أهلها شيعا يستضعف طائفة منهم يذبح أبناءهم ويستحيي نساءهم إنه كان من المفسدين. Indeed, Pharaoh has exalted himself, made himself bigger, put himself above on the land, and made the land's peoples into sects, so that he oppresses a group from them, and he slaughters their sons, and he lets their women live, Indeed, he was of the corruptors. Now, why does he slaughter their sons? Because, and we're going to cover it in these verses, because he had a dream, or there's a prophecy or a dream, that a son of that region was going to destroy him and destroy everything that he owns. So he started killing all the males, because he's like, okay, well, let me kill all the boys, and if I kill all the boys, then nobody gonna stop me. And that's why he lets the women live. That's kind of the concept. Not just that he wanted to rape the women, which is what I would have thought if I didn't know the story. Indeed, he was one of the corruptors. ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين ونريد أن نمن على الذين استضعفوا في الأرض ونجعلهم أئمة ونجعلهم الوارثين. And we want to bestow a favor upon those who were oppressed in the land, children of Israel, and make them leaders and make them the ones who inherit and the ones who are successors. But it is our will to favor those who are oppressed in the land, making them models of faith as well as successors, because the children of Israel are given the most favors from God for the point of you're supposed to show the world what it means to believe. But anyway, let's not get into that too much. ونمكن لهم في الأرض ونري فرعون وهامان وجنودهما منهم ما كانوا يحذرون. And so that we establish for them a place in the land, in the earth. We establish for them in the land, in the earth. And we show Pharaoh and Haman, another general. Why do I know the name? I'm sure I've heard the Quran. And their armies, their hosts, from them what they feared. Yeah. I wonder if it says, it is common to believe that Haman was in charge of the architecture during the reign of Pharaoh at the time of Moses. Sure. And what they feared, here gets the fulfillment of the Pharaoh's old dream that his reign would come to an end at the hands of a boy from the children of Israel. It was a boy from Egypt. He didn't know that it was the children of Israel because he was killing everybody in Egypt, if I recall. But yes, that was the Pharaoh's dream. وأوحينا إلى أم موسى أن أرضعيه فإذا خفت عليه فألقيه في اليم ولا تخافي ولا تحزني إنا رادوه إليك وجاعلوه من المرسلين. So we revealed to the mother of Moses. Circle English, welcome back to the channel. Hello, hi. So we inspired to the mother of Moses, that she should, suckle him, breastfeed him, and if you are afraid for him, then cast him into the river, and do not be afraid and do not grieve. Do not be afraid and do not grieve. Indeed, we will restore him to you, and we will make him from the messengers. My friend, welcome back, Circle in English. I can't see you. Why can't you see me? I don't understand. I'm looking at my stream now. I seem to be fine. But essentially, it's you can't see me or can't hear me? But essentially, no, you can hear me. I am very confused. I don't know. Anyway, she told the mother of Moses, breastfeed him, and if you're afraid of him, throw him in the river, and do not be afraid and do not be sad. We will restore him to you, and he is one of the messengers. Refresh. Anyway. You're saying my screen is black, but I'm seeing it as... anyway, I'll double check the footage at the end, but hopefully it's fine. فالتقطه آل فرعون ليكون لهم عدوا وحزنا إن فرعون وهامان وجنودهما كانوا خاطئين. Okay, now you can see it. Cool, fantastic, that's great. then the family of Pharaoh picked him up so that he might become for them an enemy and grief. And I don't know if you followed the story, but we've covered Moses many, many times. But essentially, Moses' mother put him into the river, and Pharaoh and his family picked up Moses. Now, bear in mind, this was at a time when they were killing all the boys and all the male children. But they picked him up. إن فرعون وهامان وجنودهما كانوا خاطئين. Now here it says, indeed, Pharaoh and Haman and their armies, their hosts, they were wrong. Now, sinful is an understanding. Sinful is absolutely an understanding of khati'in, but khati'in also means wrong. And it this kind of talks about the mistake. This is a mistake. They made a mistake, in my opinion. I understand that the sinful is correct, but I think they made a mistake because they did pick him up. Now, why didn't they kill Moses? Okay. وقالت امرأة فرعون قرة عين لي ولك لا تقتلوه عسى أن ينفعنا أو نتخذه ولدا وهم لا يشعرون. So the wife of Pharaoh said, قرة عين لي ولك. He's a comfort for the eye for me and you. It's you know that concept. I don't know if you've ever seen a video of a leopard chasing after an animal, and then he ends up ending up with the baby, the baby of the animal, and then he just doesn't eat the baby because he looks at the baby and he's like, oh, well, shucks. That's actually kind of cute. And that's what قرة عين means. It's your eye looks at him, even though you're a predator, you go, oh, yeah. So she said, it's for me and for you. So the wife of Pharaoh, for me and for the Pharaoh, it's a comfort for the eyes. So she said, don't kill him. Maybe he'll be able to benefit us, or maybe we may take him as a son, and nobody will know. Nobody will perceive. Nobody can. Because also at the time, it was also explained that the Pharaoh's wife could not bear children, and she was very sad and she was very heartbroken. So when she found Moses from the sea, she's like, I want a child. This is a child, and he showed up at her doorstep, and I want a son, and you want a son. Let's have a son, Dun dun dun. But they were mistaken. Sorry. وأصبح فؤاد أم موسى فازعا إن كادت لتبدي به لولا أن ربطنا على قلبها لتكون من المؤمنين. This is very sad. And the heart of the mother of Moses became empty. Oh, فارغا. Oops, I wrote فزعا. Oops, let's reread it again. وأصبح فؤاد أم موسى فارغا. استغفر الله العظيم. وأصبح فؤاد أم موسى فارغا إن كادت لتبدي به لولا أن ربطنا على قلبها لتكون من المؤمنين. And the heart of the mother of Moses became empty. She lost her son. She threw him in the river, so it became empty. And she was near to disclosing to him about him. She was about to go to the Pharaoh and tell him, no, that's my son. If we had not, here it says tied, but tightened her heart. And the idea is that they did reassure her, made her heart firm. That's kind of the Arabic is a very visual, beautiful kind of language that kind of describes in synonyms and metaphors. And the tightening of one's heart is to strengthen one's heart so that she would be one of the believers. So they gave her faith and they gave her strength in order to not be sad about having her son be raised by the pharaohs. Now the fun part is the Pharaoh's wife did not give birth, so she did not have breast milk. In another part of the Quran, they talk about how they went back to Moses' mom and they used her to breastfeed him because they needed a woman who just gave birth. And ironically, they brought Moses back to his mom. It's such a it's a beautiful story as well. وقالت لأخته قصيه فبصرت به عن جنب وهم لا يشعرون. And she said to his sister, follow him, So she watched him from aside while they do not perceive. Now, this is, again, it's like backtracking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This was when she put him into the river. She told his sister, look at him and watch where he goes. They're kind of telling us the story a little bit. And there is the star. Oh, but just to kind of show you a sneak peek for tomorrow, for the next episode. وحرمنا عليه المراضع من قبل فقالت هل أدلكم على أهل بيت يكفلونه لكم وهم له ناصحون. And we had caused him to refuse all wet nurses at first, so his sister suggested, because she followed him, she's like, shall I direct you to a family who will bring him up for you and take good care of him? Essentially saying that he'll go back to his mom so he can be breastfed. But that's next episode. That's it for today. I appreciate you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, story time. Oh, as always, we always end with صدق الله العلي العظيم. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. مع السلامة. Okay. Bitty doo.
a real one. خلاص I can't. I reached my limit of fantasizing over men on scale and unrequited, unattainable stuff. Already the real life ones are also unattainable to a certain degree.
You'll get there, baby girl. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. You'll get there. I believe in you. But in the meantime, you're gonna love those hot Frenchmen because he's like it's like it's fake. It's like super fake because it's like he's too gorgeous, too handsome, too nice. You're like, but yeah, it's great. down. Yep.